of climate change, especially in the shape of a catastrophic flood in the 2022, we urgently need to invest in climate-friendly, climate-resilient infrastructure to mitigate the rapidly compounding risk of climate change. At the same time, we need to ensure that clean energy technology from the core component of our national energy mix, as they would not only create opportunities for green economic growth, but would also make energy more affordable for our people. Mr. Speaker, the provision of primary and secondary education is a fundamental right, and its current state should keep all governments awake at night. We must acknowledge the fact that in Pakistan there's a massive number of children who are out of school, and given our growing population, the number is growing faster than the facilities we have been providing. I therefore urge all provincial governments to bring focus and energy on transformative reforms on education sector, not just on improving access to primary secondary education for all children, but for ensuring quality as well. Mr. Speaker, respected parliamentarians, I am sure all agree that our health sector is in urgent need of rebuilding and scaled up expansion. Regular investments in the primary and secondary health infrastructure as well as human resources are needed to ensure that every citizen has access to quality of healthcare services and that no citizen lacks medical care. Mr. Speaker, a combination of factors has come together to create what I see as a crisis of income and food insecurity. For many of our people, I am pointing, of course, to the large number of our population that has been slipping into poverty, either through climate impacts on their incomes and assets or sheer cost of living pressure on the families. It is our responsibility to ensure that they move out of extreme vulnerability within the ability to access opportunities for jobs and resources to reinvest in farms, livestock, and small businesses. I am proud to say that I come from a political background that has rich legacy of empowering and protecting all those at the bottom of the social pyramid, including women. Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto was a champion of women's rights and always went on extra mile in advancing women's causes, just as she sought entitlement of economically and socially vulnerable groups of Pakistan. I am very proud of the fact the Benazir Income Support Program has been providing a lifeline to millions of vulnerable women across the country, offering them financial assistance and social protection, while giving many women the incentives and seed capital to start up small businesses. I'm glad that the number of the beneficiaries of the Poverty Alleviation Program has risen to over 9 million, but we need to bring more underprivileged women into the social safety net. I am hopeful that the new government will actively work to reduce social and economic fragility while aggressively promoting girls' education and health, including programs to reduce maternal, maternal, and enhance mother and child income. Mr. Speaker, you are aware the menace of terrorism is again rearing its ugly head and is threatening our nation's security as well as regional peace and prosperity. Pakistan believes that terrorism is a shared concern that requires collective efforts. We expect neighboring countries to take strong notice of terrorist groups who are involved in launching attacks against our security forces and people. Today I reaffirm the nation's resolve to eliminate terrorist elements. My late wife, the twice elected Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mohtarama Benazir Bhutto Shahid,